So let's begin to install the radiator. It sure is pretty. Incredibly tight to get. Installing these transmission lines. I don't think the line look. Did I go in the bucket? At least it wasn't full of coolant. I do believe that these transmission line locations are in a little bit different spot because I had to kind of tweak the lines a little bit. But as long as they fit and don't leak, I don't care. In the bucket again. Now I need to install this radiator support. Next thing is the valve cover gaskets. As you can see, they are leaking pretty bad. Got oil everywhere, but I do have a new gasket, so let's get this thing installed. There it is. Not disappointed in what I'm seeing. This thing doesn't appear to be sludged up. So I washed the valve cover and I have reinstalled it, and I'm putting the bolts back in it. Valve cover is installed. Sweet. That was the harder side. The other side's going to be a lot easier. I hope. It looks like it. Again, I'm not disappointed with what I found, but what's interesting is I always knew that cork gaskets shrunk, and there's proof right there. The cork gaskets shrunk. I'm going with the rubber gaskets on this one. I haven't had any trouble with those, so we'll see what happens with this one. Let me get this thing cleaned up. Unfortunately, the Chevrolet orange is coming off of these valve covers pretty bad. I don't know if these are the original, I don't know if this is the original paint on these valve covers, but I'm not going to repaint them. Oh, they're all coming off. It's going to look like chrome. So with the new valve cover gasket installed, I am going to pick the car up and I'm going to take a look underneath it and see what I got to do about the exhaust. My plans are to get rid of the catalytic converter on the car because the other day I parked it over at my house and I saw a little bit of smoke coming out from underneath the car. It was trying to catch some of the grass on fire. So on the tour, I'm not sure where I'm going to park, but I sure don't want a fire underneath my car. Plenty of oil leaks under here. Hopefully I got all that fixed. So here's the catalytic converter. Bone stock. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut the pipe, take out the catalytic converter. Oh, I got some holes. Dang it. Alright, looks like there's going to be a little bit of exhaust work. Dang it. What's going on, guys? I have skipped a whole day of filming to work on my car. Sorry about that. But I've got some results. What do y'all think? It's pretty sweet, huh? Those wheels really set it off. I'm really happy with it. I ran into a little bit of trouble with the fuel tank that I was planning on replacing. So I'll show you all that like right now. There's the damage. They packed it in this box just like this, with the neck of the fuel tank coming out. Now, is it just me thinking that maybe something bad can happen? I mean, anyhow, so that's why I'm not using that fuel tank. So I called up and they're sending me a new fuel tank tomorrow. It's not going to be here in time for me to put a new tank in the car to make the power tour, so I'm just going to put a 5-gallon can of gasoline in the trunk of the car or back seat or something to have on hand just in case I really need it, and some long hose. I'm going to need some long hose. So today there's one thing left that I'm going to do, and that's wheel bearings. Last night I pulled the cap off the wheel bearings and I thought, wow, this really looks good. So I put the dust cap back on and I started putting dents in the dust cap. I think I found out something. That's the original grease in those front wheel bearings. This is a 1975 model car, so it's 43, 44 years old. So I'm gonna pack the grease no matter what. And I'll show y'all why I think that it's all original 17,752 mile car. 17,000 miles. I'll show you why I think that. So here's the other thing. I took this cap off to check for check the grease, because I mean, who wants to repack wheel bearings? It's a pain. So I was checking this yesterday and the grease looks great. Looks very low mileage. This is the other thing I was talking about. So check out the blue paint mark right there. It's even on the cotter pin. Blue paint mark, blue paint mark. And that grease looks pretty good, but it's gonna get packed. Now, that really does, to me, look like factory paint. What do y'all think? Leave a comment. I'm going to show y'all a little trick that I learned. How to get the bearing looks great. How to get the seal out of the back of the rotor without damaging it. You take the front bearing out, you put the nut back on, and then you give it a little jerk. Bam. Seal is unharmed. So I've cleaned up the wheel bearings pretty good. They are made in the USA. So now that I got these things cleaned up, I'm going to blow them out and grease them up. You put in the new bearing, and then you install the seal. I like to tighten up on the nut and spin around a little bit, and then I look for that nice loose spot where you can move the washer and line up the cotter pin. That's it, guys. Reinstall this brake caliper and do the other side. I won't bore y'all with that. See y'all in a second. So I pretty much finished everything on this car that I'm going to do. Time to install the wheels and call it a day. I'm leaving tomorrow for power tools. So I reckon that's it for this video, guys. Next time you see me, I will be cruising down the road in this car heading to Concord, North Carolina, and then on the route of the power tour. So I will catch y'all there.